Alright, hey guys, something a little bit different here, and I just saw this. I didn't even know it was posted until about 5 minutes ago. I was seeing along my feeds on X, because I'm just like scrolling. I think I was seeing this throughout the last like hour though, like these pictures side by side, and I was like, it's Death Stranding, what's going on with it? I want to read through. Basically, what happened is that the senior producer on Wuthering Waves had an interview and revealed some interesting information. I find it really fascinating. And the more I think about like the main thing in discussion here between these two games, which you'll see from the text, but I'll read through it. The thing I find interesting is that now that I know it, I really can see it. But let's get into it, because I haven't read this, so this is completely fresh to me. I want to read it together here. My boy Narushio just doing wonders, reposting this stuff in a really digestible, easy format here on X. So thank you, Narushio. I love you. You're great. Let's have a read through together. I don't know what's going to be said. I only know the one thing based on, the initial part, which is here. So the initial concept, this is the first quote. The initial concept was inspired by Death Stranding. Wuthering Waves devs discusses development challenges and future plans, exclusive by Sportskeeda, which he has on his follow post. He's linked the original article here, but we're going to read through it here. But let me just say, first of all, I haven't played Death Stranding. When I saw it back then, the thing I liked about it a lot was that it was based on the Decima engine, which is Horizon Zero Dawn's engine that Guerrilla used. And I always loved Horizon Zero Dawn and how it looked, and just the game in general. It's legit one of my favorite games last gen. I think that game is criminally underrated, honestly. I think it's a really solid game, but really good story, but neither here nor there. It going into Death Stranding just piqued my interest, and the fact that Kojima was getting that assistance through Guerrilla as well, from Guerrilla, and expressed that interest in the engine. But looking at Death Stranding, I really can see the DNA, especially in older footage of Wuthering Waves. IGN have a video, you guys have most likely seen it, I think it's got a few million views, of like a 10-minute gameplay reel back about a year or so ago of Wuthering Waves, and it looks quite different to what it does now. But looking back then with the color tones, I could definitely see it more. Like, I visualized the inspiration a lot more. Like, yeah, it just really looks, it kind of gives that vibe now. Like with the echoes even, and the design of tacit discords and stuff. Well, the tacit discords mainly, just the kind of look of them. I'm seeing it kind of with the enemies I saw that time in Death Stranding when I was actually looking at it and looking at gameplay. Very interesting how inspiration like that comes about, and it kind of spawns into its own thing and evolves, I guess, into its own thing more and more. But let's get to it, because we'll never get anywhere. So, Wuthering Waves senior producer Dong talks about the ecosystem world building and issues with localization. Interesting. So, question 1: did you expect Wuthering Waves to start off with such immense success in a short time? Dong replied, even before the game launched, we had already garnered significant attention from players, achieving over 30 million pre-registrations. We're delighted that the game has continued this momentum after its launch. After launch, we've received over 30 million downloads, topping the daily download charts in over 100 regions. We also achieved top positions on the daily bestseller charts in multiple regions. What makes us even happier is that many players have given us positive reviews about our game after its release. Kuro's always valued community feedback, and the recognition from players means a lot to us. We already know, even me saying this is kind of beating a dead horse, but I'm going to say it over and over and over and over again anyway. Because they deserve the recognition for like the kind of stuff they actually are doing and how generous they're being. Like, it says a lot. For a game, people have to understand this is a free-to-play game. Its business model relies on people pulling for characters and weapons. They are shooting themselves in the foot many times, repeatedly, by giving us this stuff. And as a result, I'm much more willing to support this game in kind. I'm going to be renewing my Lunite subscription. I'm going to be getting the Battle Pass. That's just me. And, there's benefits to getting those things, obviously. The generosity isn't completely endless, but they've done a lot. And I appreciate it. Like, they didn't have to do a lot of these things, like, frankly. I know they're competing with, like, the big fish kind of in the markets, with, like, Hoyo mainly. So they need to be a bit more generous. But I think they've gone above and beyond in a lot of cases, frankly. But carrying on. So next question. There are a lot of localization issues in the game right now. What's the team doing to fix this particular issue? Sportskeeda's a American news outlet, right? So they didn't specify which localization, but this is in English. Presumably, this is like they're talking about. I don't know if they're based. I don't know much about that outlet, but let's see what he said. The simultaneous global release is a brand new challenge for us. We didn't have much experience in global releases, and one manifestation of this is the insufficient quality of the localization at launch. However, our localization quality has already improved compared to the initial launch period. I do agree with that. 1.1 kind of proves that a bit, that they probably talked to the localization team for English and were like, we need to step it up a bit, maybe give you some more direction, things of that nature, but we are gradually enhancing it mainly through two approaches. Firstly, we've expanded the size of our localization team. Secondly, we have optimized the localization workflow, focusing more on in-game localization. There's one thing for sure, we will continue to invest in localization, leveraging internal potential while collaborating with industry experts with extensive expertise to bring a better localized gaming experience to players worldwide. It's hard to pin. The thing is, once again, like the fact that they obviously outsource a lot of the localization stuff, I think it's more like the issues we've had are just down. I mean, everyone acknowledges this, I think, down to like direction not being so great. Because I think the voice actors themselves are solid. I really like them. I think they fit their characters really well. And it's getting better as well. I mean, I commented on this, I think I'm pretty sure I commented on this in my story live stream for 1.1. The characters sounded more natural. Like, Yang Yang was less kind of monotone at the beginning, I felt, and I really like Abby's voice as well and expressions, so I got the overall vibe that it definitely is getting better. So next question, what was the first idea or concept that sparked the development of Wuthering Waves? So we already talked about this briefly, but the initial concept for our game was inspired by Death Stranding. Our goal is to create a post-apocalyptic world where players can experience the fusion of new and old civilizations, which, I mean, I should have mentioned that. Obviously, the combination of tech in like Death Stranding and nature and just traversing both kind of rings a bell as well. And just, I feel like I can see it. Like, now that it's mentioned out loud, I can see it thinking about Death Stranding and the kind of vibes I got from it. The kind of muted kind of colors, going for like a realistic but muted color tone approach. And, you know, the technology being intertwined with the nature. It's just interesting to think about. Like, it fascinates me. I never knew that at all. No one really did, I don't think, before this interview, but it's just strange. And yeah, it makes sense. Question number 4. What were some of the key things that the team wanted to achieve with Wuthering Waves compared to Punisher Grey Ribbon? So PGR is a game we continue to develop as well. We have expectations for both PGR and Wuthering Waves. For us, the difference between PGR and Wuthering Waves lies in their genres. Wuthering Waves is an open world game with more gameplay variety and stories. This means we hope Wuthering Waves can attract a broader player base and provide us with more market insights on a global scale. I think so. I think they realize, you know, Wuthering Waves is going to have that kind of more reach. And obviously their main competitor and largely inspiration is also Genshin Impact, which I have no idea if they're going to talk about here. Because, frankly, Death Stranding may have been a big inspiration for a lot of the themes of the game, but obviously Genshin is there too. Like, a lot of the systems are very Genshin-esque, better, but still, you know, that's kind of a basis. But yeah, they obviously realize making an open-world action-type game like this is going to have a wider appeal, I think. PGR, I don't know much about it, but I don't think, as he's saying, is here as well, not quite in the same vein. So yeah, I hope it does well for them. Next question, is there a concrete roadmap that the team is currently following for the development of Wuthering Waves? Is it possible to share an approximate roadmap for the story content and map expansions? I doubt we're getting much here, but let's see. We certainly have short-term, mid-term and long-term plans for future game development. However, due to confidentiality, please allow us to respond with stay tuned regarding the specific storyline or roadmap. So yeah, not really anything there. Next question, what were some of the inspirations to the unique ecosystem of Wuthering Waves? The ecosystem is one of our core gameplay mechanics. In fact, everyone just thought at first that it would be a very cool thing to be able to absorb monsters and use them for your own, so we put it into the game, which, yes, is a really sick concept. After many rounds of testing later, we found that players can also feel the potential in this system. In the future, the Echo system will also be an absolute focus, and we will further bring a variety of summonable Echoes to players. As expected, I mean, I really enjoy the Echoes. The fact that you can intertwine them with combos is awesome, and just the character's general movesets, it just adds an extra layer to the game, and it's awesome. Like, I really enjoy the Echo system. Next. How the world building and lore look in the future, as we currently have only seen one of 6 planets in the game right now. The Roof Show did correct this, I believe. Yeah, 6 planets equals 6 regions. It's a text error. So, yeah, we know there's more regions planned as well, so. For future world building, we are unable to elaborate further to avoid spoilers. However, the story of Wuthering Waves definitely extends beyond Huanglong. As the story unfolds, players can expect to explore more regions with different visual styles and customs and delve deeper into the secrets behind Stellaris 3 and Rover, the main character. Looking forward to it, obviously. Jinxi's essentially, I mean, if we're using Genshin terms just so everyone's up to speed, everyone knows this, I think, but Jinxi's our Archon, essentially, the Magistrate. And she wears the title very well in terms of gameplay and design, I would say. Like, she is just top tier. So I'm really looking forward to more regions, again, more customs, more of the world. I think in the future, regions are going to be very different from each other. That's kind of what he's saying as well. That makes sense. Next, has the success of Wuthering Waves allowed the team to possibly publish new games in the distant future? Currently, we will continue to focus on our 2 operational games. Our primary mission at the moment is to continuously provide better game content experiences and services for players of Wuthering Waves and PGR. However, in the future, we will not rule out any possibilities. I think it's inevitable, and I just hope they, they've certainly got great funding in place so far, and I think it's just going to continue as long as they make great content and are generous to their players. I think players are more inclined to be generous in turn to a company that respects them. I certainly am. I'm one of those people. And, you continue to make a great game. It's not just that. It's not just that kind of reciprocation. You make a great game, I'll be there, and I'll support it. So, next question. The amount of effort put into Wuthering Waves, last question, into Wuthering Waves is incredible. The graphics, OST, storytelling, combat mechanics, and repeatable content are a treat for fans in this genre. Would you consider Wuthering Waves as Kuro Games' most ambitious project ever? Donk said, from an investment perspective, Wuthering Waves is the most ambitious project Kuro's ever undertaken. In terms of the project's significance, we are doing many things that have no precedent in Kuro's history, requiring us to navigate the solution step by step. It's Kuro's first open world game, the first game developed using the UE4 engine, and the first game to be globally released simultaneously. With Wuthering Waves, we aim to accumulate sufficient experience in game production, industrialization, and global distribution through its long-term operation to support the game's future strategic development. I kind of wrapped that up as to, well, we knew some of it was kind of new to them, but it sounds like, yes, a lot of this stuff is very new territory for them. Have they done anything aside from PGR? I don't think they have, if they're in the gaming space anywhere. I don't know if the company existed for anything else or did anything else. In that way, I extend a bit of empathy for like a lot of the struggles they've had. At the same time, I would say, and I've stuck with this, that they should have really delayed the game a little bit to iron out issues people are having. Unfortunately, it's also become kind of one of these stupid talking points about, this, I guess, gacha war. Like, a lot of people come in my videos and say, oh, Wuthering Waves, I'd rather have a game that works, or Genshin, or something like that, some bullshit. We get it, the game had issues, for certain people. I wasn't experiencing many of them, maybe I was lucky. I don't know, people have different platforms, different setups, different all sorts. But I still say, yeah, they should have delayed the game a little to get that sorted out. But they've been really good, really on the ball about fixing issues, like, fast. I feel like, again, even the localization has largely been fixed. At least in 1.1, I wasn't seeing many issues, even with, like, the text or anything. Whereas before, there were a lot of typos I was noticing. Granted, I haven't done a lot of the side quests in 1.1, and that's where I was noticing probably the most, like, typos and things like that, so we'll see. But it's been good. It seems like they're getting their shit together a little bit. I suppose while we're here, hang on guys, I'll cut this quick. I'm going to get the video up of what I was talking about before, the older video gameplay. One sec. Alright guys, so I just got these random videos. I'll mute the sound on each of them, because it's really just the visuals, more so than anything else. Just randomly pulled these two up, but I can see it, especially in this older video. I think, again, when the graphics look very different on this older video. I think what they've done is an improvement. I know not everyone's super happy. Some people did prefer this kind of look. And I think, God, the character models have got such an upgrade in my opinion, honestly. I was so impressed with what they showed that when they first revealed the changes to the characters. But like just the world and stuff and the general aesthetic rings bells of this game to me. Now that I know about it, and I can see it as an inspiration for what we were just looking at. I know this is just, and this is what a lot of Death Stranding is from what I've seen anyway, just, you know, deliveries and all that stuff, which is why it didn't really appeal to me so much, but I can see kind of DNA in places here. Or at least DNA of inspiration in the, I mean, this is probably not the best example. I know there's a lot of like hilly environments, mountains and all sorts. And obviously, I mean, Genshin wasn't mentioned. I think, you know, I think the interviewer would have, you know, should have probably mentioned it. Like, you know, how are you feeling with your competition? Or would you acknowledge the competition? Or something of that nature. Maybe it's just an awkward question to ask, I guess. Elephant in the room type thing, I suppose. But yeah, I love Yang Yang's hair as well. Look at the feathers. Very cool. Anyway, guys, that'll be it. I mean, the interview didn't reveal too much to us, to be honest. The main thing was that inspiration. That was, for me, big news. Something I did not know at all. So hopefully they do more like interviews. And I know they can't say much about future plans or anything. So I'm sure there'll be more to talk about though in the future. But that'll be it, guys. Let me know what you think down below and I'll speak with you soon.